What up, what up, what up? We're at the Black Brewers Podcast. We out here at the Dabbler Depot. My name is Anthony.
I'm Philip.
My name is Greg.
And we here, man. It's a new space. They're showing us around this beautiful space, new home for us.
7th Street in St. Paul, trying to enliven the neighborhood.
It's rainy outside, but it's sunny inside. There's stuff growing in here.
They got plants.
It's nutty.
Definitely.
Yeah, full rotation, baby.
Let's
go
walk
look
around.
at the spot, man. We're gonna head to the wheel. What's up, Greg? You have some questions on the wheel?
Yeah, we'll check out the wheel. First and foremost, it's the one thing that you'll probably notice when you do enter this space, outside of the beautiful plant display up there. But if you are a member, you can spin this wheel.
It's heavy too, ain't it?
Big money, big money.
Had to put that back
But
in there, right?
you can spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, that's what that's the prize that you win.
A lot of koozies on there.
Is right.
And so this is something that you never see. I've only seen this once. I've never seen this in any other liquor store.
I've only seen this on TV, man.
Exactly.
With Bob Barker telling you to spay and neuter your pets.
What do I get? Local partner deal. Let's go.
I like
Let's
that.
go right now.
So that means this means we get a fully funded record deal, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
So this is Liz Lager, my coworker, Arbeiter. Beer buyer here extraordinaire. I'm gonna let you do your thing and tell them about you and this beautiful place.
Hi, I'm Liz. I work for the Dabbler Depot. I'm the beer buyer here. Welcome to our store. There are a lot of beautiful things about this store and a lot of really unique facets that we like to share with anyone that walks in. But one of my personal favorite things is this beautiful wall of beer. One of the things that we focus on is organizing by style versus by, I would say, who brews it or like those kinds of things, which makes it a little bit easier to find new products and discover new things that you might enjoy, because you might be focused on maybe one type of brewery, but then looking and seeing that who else does a pale ale, who else does a sour that you like. It's a really fun way to explore the many different breweries from Minnesota as well as from out of state.
I noticed how here it kind of radiates out from IPA. Obviously IPAs, they're just, they're the hot girl beer these days in time. I noticed how it's pale ale, and then you could go off to the sour, the seltzers, the darks, and NAs, and then it kind of reverberates kind of outwards.
We're going like dark to light.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of thing going.
I see that, and I also am hearing that what keeps this beer cool is the solar panels, but also because of the condensation created from the coolers, it filters through the gutter system and also waters the plants as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty fascinating. I see you got some beautiful, nice aloe up there. You got
So these are all real plants then?
These are all real plants,
Okay.
yes. And you can kind of hear it in the background, but yeah, it kind of just sounds like there's
trickling
a
of life.
waterfall all the time.
Kind
Yes.
of sounds like a
soothing.
fish store or something like
It
that.
does sound like a fish store, yes.
Fish store.
I remember
You got a couple beta
it
fish in
takes
here?
a little bit to get used to, because you're just like, from working in a brewery, anytime you hear running water, you're kind of like,
Where's it at? Where's my
yeah,
food
like what's
at?
going on? Like, what's
Do you
like,
have to go pee a lot because of that?
no,
Because
no.
of the trickling water sound?
It makes me thirsty though. It makes me want
Yeah.
to drink some beer.
You know what's also great about that making you thirsty? There is no warm beer here.
There is no warm beer. We do
no warm Red
we
Dog,
keep it
huh?
all cold, yes. Warm Red Dog.
Yeah, they were saying that when it comes in, either it goes directly into the cooler or directly onto the shelves, or you guys have another cooler in the
It's a
basement.
very small basement,
Okay.
and it's also not that big of a cooler space back there, so that kind of keeps us a little bit tighter in my ordering. So in the things that I choose, I try to keep a fresh rotation of things, because we don't want things sitting too long. We also want to get the freshest product to our guests that come in the store.
So can you go ahead, Phil.
I was gonna ask, do you get goosebumps when you just look at it all fully stocked and organized? Because I know you did the organizing on
I
it.
do. I love it. I also love it when somebody comes in that's never been here before. We had a sales rep today that was filling in for someone. He's like, "This is a really nice selection," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Is it you who curates the selection?
I do. Mhm.
So can you walk us through your spirits and whiskeys and everything, and show us how you guys do things and how everything is organized?
Of course, of course. Well, barring the beer, because honestly I would like to say that I can try it all, but I honestly cannot try it all. But all of the spirits and the wine have actually been tasted and selected for the store. So it is what they call liquor to lips. So everything has been tasted, tried, picked out by the people that actually work here too. We all, like the beer buyers here most of the time, you know what I mean? The wine buyers here all the time, the spirits buyers here all the time. That allows us to give, again, guests that come in the store just a really personalized choice on like, here's what I think you would like, and talk to people one-on-one and see what would be best for them and the things that they've had in the past and would like to try in the future.
Okay. So how does that go into the interactions you have with people who come into the store, being that it is, in a sense, a more personalized experience?
That is what we want it to be. We want it to be an experience. We want someone to walk in and kind of have that, when you walk into, I mean, a lot of the times when I walk into a liquor store, I'm like, okay, checking it out. But walking in here, you see Sasha at the front door. You see, a lot of the time, people see the plant wall. They see this sparkly wheel of fun over here. They see a tap wall. They want to know what that's about. So it allows us to really take people on a guided tour through the space, because it honestly just like flows. So you know, like maybe you're here to try beer, but you're willing to kind of walk through the wine and learn about the different regions that we have. We actually have a really nice chilled wine wall over here. We also have a really lovely selection of like sakes. And so it's just really fun to learn about the new things and be able to share with people that might not know as much. Or if they do know like some of the things about it, try to guide them to something else that they could experience for the first time.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I see you guys got some of the classics. You got some of the new stuff. Like,
You got the classic Fernet Branca.
I'm looking
my
at that
personal
Fernet.
favorite.
It's classic. Your birthday, we had some of that at work.
That is honestly Fernet Branca's
It's good for your
my
gut, man.
favorite, yes.
Pro
So,
gut.
so what's going on over here in the?
You got Malort?
Wow, really?
We do
You
have
guys are
Malort.
one of the only
Definitely.
places that has
Old school
Malort
Chicago, Malort.
Right?
outside of like Surdix or something like that. Like I've never seen Malort.
There's also a really cool distillery coming out of Chicago, Besk, that is doing Malort but better.
Really?
So, yeah,
Malort
there's
but
like
better?
there's like
I like the
Malort
slogan.
but better.
Malort is kind of like a badge of honor, where it's
It
like
is.
it doesn't taste the best, but when you take a shot of it, it's kind of like a camaraderie thing. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm a,
sure.
weird, I'm a
Drink
weirdo.
as fast
I
as you
would
can.
take Malort over Fernet any day, personally.
No, it's terrible.
I know. Give me Malort.
Hey man, you know they say that if that's the case, there's people who've had strokes before. You know that,
I
right?
might have had a couple.
Yeah. Just you might want to look into
That
that.
I
bro.
wasn't aware of.
And it's sleep strokes.
Well, kind of moving on beyond the liquor store, actually, we have a coffee shop. It's actually coffee, donut, and has now, well, and pies, and has recently transitioned into THC.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
My
Which is,
question is, what kind of coffee we serving out of here? Do we specialize in certain roasts? Is there a certain place you're sourcing your coffee
yeah,
from?
we do. We get Rusty Dog coffee out of Wisconsin, out of Milwaukee,
Okay.
which is, honestly, it's really balanced. A lot of the time, some of the coffee can be a little over roasted, and I really like a good full body, like balanced coffee.
Full body balance.
So,
Okay, fair enough. Not too dark and roasty.
So what's your THC game like?
it's pretty spectacular, I won't lie to you. We have an elite group of tasters that constantly are just trying different things. They're allowing the staff to try different things so we can actually understand what each flavor is and then what each can does based on the dosage, based on what like kind of.
how do I get
like-
that job? I want to.
Exactly.
Why did
I
you
know.
call us?
Right? That's what I called you.
We could be elite tasters. For
I'm
sure.
seeing everything. I'm seeing tinctures. I'm seeing spirits. Not spirits.
so-
I'm seeing gummies,
I say
cannabinoids.
edibles and drinkables. You can do the tinctures, but you can also have this canology, which you can dose your own drink.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different blends in here too. I personally am a bigger fan of kind of the more the CBD THC blends.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of those that
got
are in
chocolate
edible
over
form. You know, Bent Paddle has a really good
Yeah,
one here
Bent
too.
Paddle's nice.
Yeah. It's also kind of varies too. We have the seltzers, but then we also have the sodas.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's
so it allows people to kind of, if they like something a little bit sweeter, or if they want, you know, more of that high, we're starting to get kind of more into like the Delta 10s too, over the Delta 9s.
Like you got the 10 milligrams as well. You got a little heavier dosage.
Yeah.
I like that. It's all with the waters, the sodas, the drinks, the seltzers. They're water soluble, so they kick in a little quicker.
Exactly,
About,
yep.
well, way quicker
Hits
actually. Like,
you-
it takes like 15 minutes or
Yep,
so.
15 minutes.
Then it kind of exits out a little faster as well.
I just like the variety you guys
Yeah.
have. Like,
Yeah, y'all
this
got
is
options.
this is a nice place to come if you don't know what you're looking for.
Yes.
You can come here
Find something.
and find something exactly to
And
to your price point, to your taste point.
There was a lot of, in my mind, naivete for THC until
Still.
like it's nice to be able to now to be able to say these are what these are going to do, these are what those are going to do. I think Minnesota is really entering a new world of experiences.
It's still the Wild Wild West right now.
It is.
It's the Wild Wild West because I've been to places and they're like selling like 25 milligrams. And
I will say one of my favorite things about this though is that I can point at this and be like, my friends at Burning Brothers made this. You know what I mean? The guys at Bauhaus made that. The folks up in Bent Paddle, Duluth, or like West Duluth, Bent Paddle are doing that one. It's really cool to be able to point at one and be like, this brewery is making that. And it's just like it is allowing them to express more of like the uniqueness of what a brewery can do.
I found that it's been weird talking to people. I'm so used to just talking to people about beer at Dangerous Man. And I found that it's been very strange, like breaking down like indica versus sativa and hybrid.
Dude,
I think it's awesome, but yeah, it's like,
oh
snap, it catch you off guard for like a second.
You realize
it makes you
how much
study.
expertise you got too, though.
Yeah.
Because depending on how long you've been engaging with the situation, you can kind of break out your knowledge and expertise that you've acquired over the years upon the THC products and whatnot.
But also it brings to any person who has that knowledge, it makes you more valuable to your brewery.
Bingo.
Yes.
That's the part people don't realize. Like, if you partake of the sweet fruit that is THC, you make yourself valuable.
Which is cousins to the hop. Just so
Yeah,
we
it
all
is.
know.
It
So
is.
it
Very
all
much.
in the same
Hops is
world.
weed's weird cousin.
Yeah, it is.
It smells like that weird
cousin
cousin.
in.
Like, what up, cuz?
Yeah, it's
Like,
cousin in.
oh, what's up, man? Oh, you a little different, huh, cuz? You're like, yeah, but he do what he do over where he doing it at. So whenever they link up, it's a good force. That's for
Hey
sure.
man, it's, one of the oldest smoke things in the world with one of the oldest made drinks in the world.
That's
True.
They go hand in hand.
I love that.
Ancient
Good way to put it.
beauty.
So is there anything else you want to show us in here that's just phenomenal?
I mean, we
Actually,
could.
I got a
yeah,
question
where
about the
would you like to
Rainbow
go?
Road over here. What's up with that in the corner?
Oh, well, walking to the Rainbow Road will allow me to, talk more about this beautiful beer wall that I was talking about earlier. So we do have it broken down in my style. I'm partial to this cooler, lagers and pilsners over here.
It's the homies right here.
It is your name.
It is
Liz Lager.
it's still an IPA world, but it's
Yeah.
really cool to be able to try to dial in. So right now I have pale ales and sessionables. I have straightforward and West Coast and cold IPAs right here. Then it can go into hazies and then doubles and then triples. It's just really fun to be able to figure out what people are drinking, what they like, what brands they like. Do they like more Minnesota breweries? Are people like into certain Chicago breweries?
Speaking of, have you had what data have you collected based off since you've been open? Like, what have you switched around? Like, all right, we'll put this right here because they like this the most. We'll put this at a higher level because they're drinking this more. What have you noticed so far? What's the trends right now?
It's funny to be in like St. Paul in this area. We're either a destination liquor store or we're kind of more of a local liquor store. With the Dabbler name, we are associated more with craft beer. So most of the people that are coming into the store are looking for craft beer. It does allow us to, of course, like work into here are the really good whiskeys and good wines, of course, too, if they have good taste. But I honestly, the people that come into the store are very Minnesota focused, which I completely love. It's just like they really support the people that are, Black Stack. They really support. I'm trying to think like Ursa Minor is one of our most popular ones. Earth Rider. Everyone is just like, yes,
Olafon,
Minnesota.
those guys are like right there on the border.
Exactly. Yep. Of course, Drecker too slips in there. Junkyard. They really like to support the people that are local, which I very much appreciate. We're of course still bringing in Sierra Nevada. You know what I mean? Revolution.
I see some more brewing out of Illinois.
Yes.
Up there.
Yes. Chicago has honestly some of the best beer coming out of it. It is really amazing. Yeah, Portage is also one of my favorites from Twin Cities. So I feel like I'll say the trends for sure are definitely certain brands. So anything that comes out of certain breweries, but then it's still hazy IPAs right now. I think there is going to be a bigger push towards West Coast style again. I think the cold IPA is a kind of an intro back into that. It's just kind of that cleaner, just fresher bite.
Clear,
Yep.
a little less bitterness.
But of course, people are still drinking, cream ales and the light beers. It has started to ebb with the season, so more like less of the lighter stuff, more of the darker stuff, which I very much appreciate. Yes.
That's where I live. So the Rainbow Road, though.
Oh, the Rainbow Road. Oh my gosh, I totally got distracted by beer, right?
That's what we're
Staring
here
at
for.
it, I'm like, oh, okay.
Supposed to get distracted.
So this is our Rainbow Road. This just draws you in. That's what it draws you into. We actually have a continuation of what's over here. We actually have a lovely selection of like bourbons and ryes. Then we also move into our scotches. We also have, I know, the Irish whiskey. Our spirits buyer Mike, his talent is actually Japanese whiskeys. Like he's really into Japanese spirits. So it's a lovely selection too.
If you haven't checked it out, go on the Dabbler Depot. They did a whiskey tasting, blind tasting. It's amazing, phenomenal.
Yes, we've done that a few times. It's actually really interesting to see when you're not paying attention to what it is. Like you're just drinking it based on what it tastes like, what it smells like. We actually did a blind rye whiskey tasting, and the top, rye whiskey was actually like an $85 bottle, which of course you expect
Naturally.
that. The second place was actually like a $22 bottle. And then the third place was like a Whistle Pig, 10 years. So it's really interesting to see when you are just doing it based on your preferences and what is appealing to you, what you like the best. It has nothing to do with price point. It has something to do with, just the aesthetics.
Yeah. The taste and the smell,
the taste
and the
and the
quality
smell.
to your palate.
Which is going to be interesting in the future, like which places, like Scotch in Scotland, Ireland, etc., etc. I know true Scotch needs to be from Scotland, but places around the world that are making whiskey that their barrels are young.
Yes.
And so in the next 20 to 30 years, what is it going to look like, the landscape, when you got a 20-year Japanese whiskey, or you got like a 20-year like Minnesota whiskey or something? It's going to be interesting.
There are honestly some really good Minnesota distilleries that are doing really well, and of course like some in Wisconsin too. We also have some really nice mezcals.
I was just looking at the mezcals.
One of my
The
favorite sections
mezcals,
right
the mezcals are where it's at.
When are y'all doing a blind mezcal?
Right?
Let me know. I want to be on that
I know
panel.
people get a little shy with it because they're like, it's going to be too smoky, but honestly, there are some really
mezcal.
lovely
You
ones.
got options.
Yes.
I'm not a
You
tequila
got the
drinker, but
Avila
I
as
mess
well,
with
too.
mezcal.
Avila's your favorite.
It's so good because it's just different. It's a newer agave variety of tequila.
Honestly, we only maybe have one tequila. They're all mezcals and like a
See,
couple
I love
reposados,
mezcals.
right?
Yeah.
You got Mount Verde?
I don't know if you have Mount Verde.
Take that one home.
Right.
Just scoop that to the crib.
I will also say one of the things working here I've learned a lot about is tasting more aquavits and more gins. Which
really?
like
More like
I
botanical style?
Yeah, I kind of had this idea in my mind that they fit into this one peg, but I've recently discovered that there's actually a lot more, because before that I was like, aquavit, I'm like, caraway, I'm like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But there are
No, I
actually
hear
some
you. I've never messed with it,
very
so.
lovely aquavits.
I know Victory
Yes.
makes a really good one. Our friends up in Duluth.
So,
Yes.
They make a really good
explain
one.
what an aquavit is to people who don't know what that is.
Oh gosh, well, I was like,
Swedish vodka?
it's a Swedish light spirit. Caraway is going to be a big component of that, but you also do get you can get a lot of like cedar from it. You can get a lot of like dill from it. It can honestly be very fruit forward too, very citrus forward. It can just be really diverse. And I think a lot of these are from like Norway, like there's like those 3 there, but then there's 2 Minnesota ones here, which is like just incredible that people in this state are so compelled by our ancestry, their ancestry, to distill this type of spirit.
Definitely.
Right.
Let's go take a look at my favorite, or one of my favorite walls, the wine wall, real quick.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful display.
It is. This is the
wanna
first of
leave
its
it out.
kind too.
It is the first of
it
its
is
kind.
amazing. And we got some sake over here as well. But
Shout out to sake.
this,
Yes,
Special. I
yes,
love
there are
sake.
some lovely sake.
there's sake in here too.
Soju
This is just
a really good
amazing.
one too. But coming over this way, which I don't know if somebody else wants to do it. I mean, I do it all the time, but you have to pull that one. It slides back.
Ooh.
Right?
Look at that.
Look at
So it's
that.
kind of fancy. It's just beautiful for display. Keeps the wines like just at the perfect chilled temperature. So you are able to you're able to find something you like over here, and then be able to buy it to just drink it in a short notice.
Nice.
I mean, you can always stick something in the freezer for 15 minutes, but
So you're saying we could just drink it in the parking lot?
But the presentation of this wall is so amazing. Like,
Yes.
never seen a wine selection where you have the wine just sitting here, and like you said, you could pull it back and find what you want right there.
Yes.
Conveniently to grab. lets you know about it. You got the nice little words about the wine, and you know, just it's a whole different atmosphere.
I've
It's a
gotten
whole
more
different
and more into
experience.
wine like as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
You know, nice good old like pairing with like a steak or with
Chicken.
pasta or chicken or shrimp, seafood, like whatever. Pairing a good wine. Yeah,
Yeah,
even
dates.
that. Yeah, pairing a good wine with a good meal like truly elevates it. So
Wine still kind of
Definitely
scares me though. It's just, and only from the fact that you walk into any liquor store, the wine section is so huge.
it can be a
And
little
it's daunting,
It
yeah.
can be a little
And-
overwhelming.
but I also look at it working in beer now. I equate it to the same as people walking into a beer place or a tap room, like, oh my God, it's so much. So I have to get out of my head about it and like, okay, let me
need a
ask
little of that
questions.
guidance.
That's
Yeah,
the
let me
best
ask
thing to do
questions,
when
let
you
me
go to a
talk.
space is ask questions because
Yeah.
the people that work there,
Yep.
generally speaking, are going to be knowledgeable. They're going to be there to help you out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and
yeah.
it's like you kind of already know, like you know what you like to drink a
Exactly,
little bit.
yeah.
Like, and so it's just kind of equating that. You're like, okay, well, I think I like it a little bit more dry.
Yeah.
I think I like it a little bit on the sweeter side. I like
Yeah.
more of the fruit. I like
Yeah.
more of that oaky character.
Yeah,
so.
like for me, as much as I cook, I love pairing beer and wine with food. So it does give me a little bit of a leg up because I know, okay, I'm looking for this taste or this to bring out this
Yes,
taste
yes.
in certain foods or whatever. So it's a little easier when you talk to somebody to let you know what you're trying to balance.
And I will say, I'm partial. I think the best pairings that you can make are with beer.
Agree?
It's understated. I know it's
Agreed.
understated. The
Agreed.
carbonation on beer,
Agreed.
like, is
Except your palate.
very good with. Yes, it's very good with food. Does a lot of like those cleansing qualities to it. And then we do also have chilled sakes.
Yeah, I love your
Here
sake
too.
selection because
Yes.
it's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like you got everything over here.
What's your
on
favorite
sake.
sake over here? Do you have one that you have?
I do. I like
to?
this blue one with the fish on it right here. This
Toussaint?
living jewel. Yes, the Jumai.
Okay.
Yes, it's
What's the
so
flavor
good.
notes on that one? Where would you?
I do think it is a little fruity, but it has a nice little like drying finish to it.
I like the way that sounds.
Right. That's kind of that's also like my preference towards wine too. Is I like a
Fruity,
little
dry
like some
notes.
fruity with the dry.
dryness.
But yeah, too. We also have a nice collection of like just like the canned wines. Underestimated. These things
That's a
are
purse
to go.
sneaker.
Right. I know. I'm like got a little pocket right here. Yeah.
Like
Like
baseball game.
Yes.
yeah, just a little bit. Oh,
be okay.
speaking of fun sakes though, we have this cute little like
Lucky dog.
That's the
it's a
baseball
juice
game.
box.
Metal detector. Okay.
Yes.
What's the difference between canned wine and bottled wine?
Gracious. Well, I don't have as much knowledge about, I would say, like wines as I should. I definitely am heavily beer focused in terms of the things that I learn and study about frequently. But I do think it is kind of revolutionary that they're putting cans, like wine in cans.
Okay.
Because I think there is a lot of packaging quality and like consistency that comes with cans specifically. So I think it's able to like stay fresher longer because corks are still like allowing some of that air to come in and out. So I think offering it in cans kind of like preserves it, same as like it would beer.
Kind of locks in the flavor of where it's at. at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like kegging it off. Like
it is like
Exactly.
it just seals it up and it's just like tight.
I have one more question for you. Is sake gluten free?
Yes.
All the GF cats out there.
I see you have like the milk and honey, all the ciders up
Yeah,
here.
we have some really nice, some really nice ice ciders, which are just like delicious. I recently got these ones, and these are actually like old world orders here too. Yes, we're trying to dabble more in mead, which is a honey, like a
nice.
honey wine.
Yes.
It's just really interesting. We actually have one on tap if you guys want to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Let's show what this tap looks like.
So this mead in particular is from just a couple guys that are starting to do this in Minneapolis. So it's called Bumbling Fools Meadery.
Okay.
Apparently the story is that they were doing this before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and then they weren't sure. They kind of like just had like some times.
I
knew there was someone back there, bro.
Going. I don't know about that. The wheelie dealie's going. over
Anyways,
there.
they had a little extra time on their hands, and then so they were like, we should do more of our mead. This one is a semi-sweet
Yes.
mead.
A little dry too.
Yeah, it's kind of like their OG mead.
Cheers.
Cheers. But we also have some really fun infusions that they've been doing. So we have a hibiscus one that's in the back. We also have one that has like a little bit of pepper to it. They're good straight up, but the other two we have with the infusions are actually really good.
Cocktails?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yep.
Cocktail creative.
Cocktail.
Cocktail?
Yep. We tasted one and we're like, oh, that'd be really good with tequila in it.
Yeah.
I noticed this one's not as extreme. It usually needs pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, this is not
This
sweet.
one's real chill. It's
Yeah.
like it's kind of been tamped down and elevated on the dry
Kinda like the midway
side.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's wine-ish in a sense with the dryness.
I agree.
Yes.
Some of them come off. a
I
little
mean,
like,
meads
I
are
love the
considered
sweetness,
honey wines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually one of the, it's older than a lot of
yeah,
actually, a lot of
smack
the
you up.
spirits that have been made.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be more people that are doing it. I think it's a niche that just needs to be filled a little.
Yeah.
this is a nice thing to have. Like if you're having a dinner party or something like that, and you just got like a bottle of that at the end of the night after dinner, or something like that, and just pour up maybe like 4 ounces for everybody or something like.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah,
It's definitely
this is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, before you get into dessert, like this is super good.
Yeah, give me this.
Yeah.
This is some tres leches cake.
Yeah, so this is Bumbling Mead out of Minneapolis.
Bumbling Mead.
Yes.
Shouts out to Bumbling Mead. All right, so can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Dabbler Depot and where are you guys going and what do you see yourselves being in this industry going forward?
Sure, that's a really good question. So I will say the original, I guess the basis of all of this was started a long time ago by Matt Kennevan as well as a few other folks with like the Growler magazine. So this is kind of a part of a bigger umbrella corporation. Matt is an entrepreneur and just a hardworking individual that has literally just kind of figures out and generates what the community needs. He understood that like craft beer is definitely like something that brings people together, and he was able to work with different businesses, but then also help people understand craft beer and discover new things. So it started with the Growler magazine, which of course everyone may or may not remember. Yes, it was groundbreaking. It was a magazine designed for craft beer. Then they started really getting into like the festivals. So everyone's kind of been to a Dabbler event. So there's Pride Dabbler, there's Summer Dabbler,
Shout out to
there's
the Dabbler.
Winter Dabbler.
You'll see us
Yes,
at some next year.
Yeah.
right. They're honestly amazing. It gets people into one space to celebrate Minnesota craft beer around the nation. Just explore the new things that are out there, try different styles that they wouldn't normally, commit to a 4-pack of trying, but it's dabbling, it's tasting, it's trying, it's doing different things.
Having that interaction with people.
Yeah, it's just really genuine. Again, it brings people together. It's a sense of community. Of course, then when there was kind of COVID and some of the reimagining of like, what can that mean moving forward? And so they had the inspiration to open a liquor store, which is called the Dabbler Depot, because a depot is like a stop. It's a way station. You're on your way to something, you're on your way from something. Like it's a place where you just kind of come and go. So they wanted to offer a variety of things, which is why they have a lovely selection of craft beer, which is why they have good wine, good whiskey, really fresh, good donuts, like
Great
coffee
kush.
drinks. Yeah, good kush. That was a late addition. But they honestly want to continue to keep growing that. They want to stay a part of the craft beer community. They want to still keep doing the festivals. They want to open more Dabbler Depots like around the city to just offer a more unique liquor store experience that's a little bit more customized to the people that are coming in.
Yeah, the energy's really nice here. It's a pleasant space. The plants are planting, the beer's beer, and the wall is looking organized. We appreciate your time.
Great.
And
You want
come
to tell
here.
about how we got involved with the Dabbler Depot, with the Beer Dabbler in general, how we intersected?
We'll do a quick overview. A lot of it's gonna have to be breezed over because there's a lot of drinking and hanging out. But yeah, Sir Ben's in Duluth. Big shouts out to facilitating the spot that we were all together. But yeah, we were asked. Matt is a great guy who believes in what we're doing. We in turn also believe in what they're doing. I love the space in general. West 7 has a decent big space in my heart. I'm a Minneapolis guy, but as far as St. Paul, West 7th Street is where I always used to hang out. And so to see,
Hang out, huh?
dip and dabble, but yeah, the fact that this is in the area that it's at, because 20 years ago you wouldn't have wanted to be in this spot. So it's a beautiful thing to start seeing places that aren't necessarily here to like gentrify and turn a buck. It's more of like a educational spot. That's the way that I kind of view the Dabbler Depot, and so I appreciate that.
As a liquor store, like I want to tell you, one of our biggest, not partnerships, but people we work with daily is the Nova Academy across the street.
Oh, wow.
Like, we're a good place for the teachers to come and get coffee. Like, you know, the parents stop by for donuts afterwards. Like, it's just like, we've honestly become like a little hub within this little community already for just being here.
Quick
since
note, you
June.
might want to start selling little flasks.
Yes.
That's what the juice boxes are
let's
for.
go.
The juice sake.
That's right, sake. You might want to put those up front. Teacher
Right.
special.
Teacher
Timberwolves,
special.
please don't cut our tickets, man, because we're not bringing no juice
coming
into
soon.
the stadium.
I definitely want to give a shout out to the Dabbler Depot, the Beer Dabbler, because without them, we would have. One of our first things we did last year was the Winter Dabbler.
Yep. That was the very
that
first
was the
thing.
very
Yeah.
first thing we
Yep.
did. So it's been a partnership since that time, and to be able to be here with you guys in this space, and for you guys to allow us to use the space for our needs, it's just been beautiful, and we just love you guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we
you.
appreciate it, and we're definitely happy to be here.
Yeah, Liz. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Cheers, friends.
But yeah, no, once again, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure you'll see much more of us.
Oh, yeah.
For those that don't know, we will probably be here a lot more often using the Dabbler Depot's beautiful studio space that they have graciously allowed us to use. And so, yeah, it's one of those things. It's like an organic situation that just kind of is building as we go. Who knows
Snowballing down that hill.
Yeah, who knows what the future is gonna bring? But for now, we're just kind of pushing forward with it. So,
All right, well, another episode of Black Brewers Podcast signing off, y'all. Peace.